Hello guys and welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be making my predictions for game week 20 of the 25-26 Premier League season. But as always, before we begin, let's see how I did last game week of 2025. I got one scoreline correct. I got Crystal Palace and Fulham drawing 1-1 correct, and 2 more outcomes correct, so that is 5 points, taking my season total up to 116. And this is how the table looks after 19 matches. And without further ado, let's predict the first game week of 2026 in the Prem. And we're going to start with a trip to Birmingham for Aston Villa against Nottingham Forest. And Aston Villa off the back of a 4-1 defeat to Arsenal. That was their first defeat in 11 matches. They were off the back of 11 straight victories coming into the match. Then they lost very heavily to Arsenal. That suggests that they probably aren't quite ready to fight for the Prem title yet. And as for Forest, well, they're not in good form either. They're just above the drop zone, and they lost, I believe, they lost 2-0 to Everton last game week. And it's at Villa Park, and I think Villa might go back to winning ways at home. I do think that Villa have enough quality to get the win over the line, and I'm going to go for a clean sheet as well. I'm going for Villa to win 2-0. I just can't see where Forest will get the goals from at the minute. And I think Villa will go back to winning ways and maybe push on for third in the table. But 2-0 Villa is what I'm going on game 1 here. Next up, we've got Brighton against Burnley in the battle of the Bees. Brighton's form is dried up quite a lot. They lost last week. Oh no, they drew 2-2 with West Ham. Burnley lost 3-1 to Newcastle. This one's a tricky one as well, because it wouldn't surprise me in the least if Burnley got a draw here. They've been drawing quite a few games recently. But it is at Brighton, it's at the Amex. I do think Brighton might just snatch the 3 points last minute. Could see it being goalless for quite a lot of the game. But I'm going to back Brighton to edge it 1-0. I think they'll snatch it last minute, maybe a Danny Welbeck goal or something. But I do think Brighton's goals have kind of dried up a bit, but I do think that they will edge the 3 points just 1-0 to the Seagulls. Next up, we've got Wolves against West Ham in a battle of two sides trying to avoid relegation. Although Wolves are pretty much dead and buried now, I don't see a way Wolves can really get out of this. They're on 3 points. They did get a good 1-1 draw against Man United last week. And West Ham drew 2-2 with Brighton. As I just said, that was a good result for them, kind of, as well. They needed the 3 points, ideally. Of course, they play Forest next week, so that's going to be another big battle for survival. But with it being at Molineux, I think Wolves might get another draw here. I'm going to back them for back-to-back draws, both sides in fact, and sit on the fence with a 1-1 draw. If I had to pick a winner, I might pick West Ham, but Wolves have been fairly impressive recently, so 1-1 is where I'm going on this one. Next up, we've got Bournemouth against Arsenal, and Arsenal off the back of a 4-1 battering of Aston Villa. Bournemouth off the back of a 2-2 draw against Chelsea, which isn't a terrible result for them, but it's still a winless record, a winless streak that Bournemouth are in the middle of. Things are still not looking great for Andoni Areola's Cherries side at the minute, and Arsenal, they're looking strong. They're now looking like quite heavy favourites, with Man City drawing 0-0 with Sunderland. They're suddenly looking like quite heavy favourites for the title this season. It is at the Vitality, but Arsenal are just too strong. I'm going for Arsenal to win 2-1. I think Bournemouth might get a goal from somewhere, but I just think the Gunners have enough to edge the 3 points and, well, another win, to add another win to their tally this season. So 2-1 to the Gunners is where I'm going. Next up, we've got another big game. It is Leeds United against Manchester United. And it's at Elland Road. We know Leeds are on great form at the minute, especially at home. I mean, Leeds are looking so tricky to break down. They just got a 0-0 draw against Liverpool, which is a great result for them. Of course, Dominic Calvert-Lewin's goal-scoring streak came to an end, but it is Elland Road, and Man United with a 1-0 draw against Wolves, which isn't the greatest of results for them, in all honesty. That wasn't a very convincing performance from the Red Devils, was it? I think I might back Leeds here. Leeds are in good form. I think they might continue. I think they're playing Man United at the right time. I think Leeds edge at 2-1. That will be a huge 3 points to push away from the drop zone once again. And I just think Leeds might have enough in the tank for the 3 points. 2-1 to Leeds in a big battle of two fan bases that probably hate each other, but 2-1 Leeds is where I'm going. Next up, we've got Fulham against Liverpool. And both these sides coming off the back of a draw yesterday. Fulham with a 1-0 draw against Crystal Palace, like I predicted. Liverpool off the back of a 0-0 draw against Leeds, which isn't the best of results for Liverpool either. Liverpool are hard to read. Well, both these sides are at the minute. But Liverpool are hard to read this season. They've been getting results over the line a lot more frequently than they were like early to mid-November when they're on that bad run. But I don't know. Fulham are one of the form teams of the division themselves. It's been quite a while, I think, since they actually lost a game. A few draws in there, but it's at Craven Cottage. I might fancy Fulham to get something here against the Leeds side, who I'm struggling to read. I'm going to send the fence with a 1-0 draw on this one. I think a draw wouldn't be the worst result for Fulham. It wouldn't be terrible for Liverpool either, in the grand scheme of things, to push up towards, Champions League football once again next season. But I do think that it will be a share of the spoils and a point apiece, 1-0. Next up, we've got Tottenham Hotspur against Sunderland. Another huge match in the game week. Both these sides off the back of a 0-0 draw last night. Sunderland with a 0-0 draw against Man City. What a result that was for the Black Cats. Spurs off the back of a 0-0 draw against Brentford. Thomas Frank drawing with his former side, like I did predict, but predicted a few more goals than that. This one's tricky. If I had to pick a winner, I may well edge Sunderland, given the form of both sides, but I think Spurs can get something here. I think they could be quite cagey, but I think they might just snatch a goal from somewhere. I'm going to sit on the fence with another 1-0 draw on this one. I think a point may well be beneficial for both, although Sunderland especially I could see them actually getting into Europe this season, because I don't think that's too far out of the ordinary. I don't think that's too unrealistic to imagine. Now, when Tottenham aren't on the great form, and unfortunately I don't see Thomas Frank turning that round anytime soon, so a 1-0 draw is where I'm going with this one. Next up, we've got Everton against Brentford, and this is another interesting one. Everton off the back of a 2-0 victory over Nottingham Forest. Brentford off the back of a 0-0 draw against Brentford off the back of a 0-0 draw yesterday against Spurs, like I just said, and I think, well, both these sides aren't on great form at the minute. I think David Moyes might just get the result over the line with his Everton side here, but Brentford are hard to predict. They're quite unpredictable. So I think I might just, I know it's boring, but I might just go down the middle again with another 1-1 draw. I think both sides might just get a goal and there'll be enough for a draw. 1-1. Next up, we've got Newcastle United against Crystal Palace. A battle of two sides on mid-table. Two sides that are on pretty shaky form at the minute. Newcastle more so on the road. Palace are just, they can't find a way to get the results over the line at the minute. They did draw 1-1 with Fulham. Newcastle obviously beat Burnley 3-1. That was on the road. We've got a couple good results on the road. Going back to St James's Park, if I had to pick a winner, I might pick the Magpies, Newcastle, to win. But I do think Palace might just snatch something. Wouldn't surprise me if Newcastle went a goal up for quite a while and then Palace found maybe a Jean-Philippe Mateta penalty. He likes penalties. Or something might equalise. I'm going for another 1-1 draw on this one, a fourth in the row. I'm sorry. But I do think it might be another share of the spoils between two sides that are unpredictable and mid-table this season. So a 1-1 draw. And then the final game is potentially game of the week. It's Manchester City against Chelsea. And Man City off the back of a 0-0 draw against Sunderland last week. Chelsea off the back of a draw against Bournemouth 2-2. Of course, Enzo Maresca yesterday, he walked away from the club. I don't really know what to think about that. I don't think he was really the problem with the club. But they are, as of the time of recording, without a manager. I do think Man City, it's at the Etihad, I think Man City will go back to winning ways here against the Chelsea side without a manager as right now. And Chelsea aren't on the greatest run of form. They lost 2-1 to Villa, then 2-2 against Bournemouth. I think they might lose another game here. Man City edge at 2-1. I think maybe Haaland might actually score a goal for them. Maybe Ryan Cherky or Phil Foden. And then a goal from maybe João Pedro or maybe Marc Cucurella for Chelsea. But I do think that Man City will keep the pressure on Arsenal. They need to. And it wouldn't surprise me if they went on one of their January runs or run of like 10 games in the new year of winning in a row. So 2-1 City is where I'm going on this one. And there you have it, guys. All 10 Premier League matches predicted for another week. The games are coming in thick and fast at the minute. I just wanted to say Happy New Year, everybody, as well. I think there might be... there's some games coming up next midweek. And then there was a break after that for a few weeks. So, or a couple of weeks. So, yeah, make sure to let me know your predictions in the comments down below. I'd love to read them. And, yep, we'll see how these turn out. And I'll see you all in the next one.